Digital research channel in India producing the documentary ethnographic films on the endangered human populations and ethnic cultures of India. So subscribe this channel to know more about the endangered human population and ethnic cultures of India on every weekend.
In search of Parhaiya, a primitive tribe inhabiting in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Bihar states, we started our journey from Ranchi to visit Palamu area where the core area for the Parhaiya people are inhabiting. We have started in the early hours by jeep. We are now going towards Simari via Chitra to Latehar. From there, we have reached now in Palamu area. This is a core area for Naxalites. It is a very dangerous area which you are observing here. Here we have to go around 40 kilometers to Latehar where the Parhaiya tribes are inhabiting. On the way, we won't get anything in this jungle. It is totally a reserve forest region, totally occupied and controlled by the Naxalites. I felt myself sometimes I am living in the other world. Entire this region in the hands of Naxalites. No question of interfering with the government or police people. It is an unsecured area. It took long time to get me for permission to visit this region. Now I have reached the Latehare region. Now I am going to the villages. From the tar road I have shifted to the mud road. For the first time I am afraid to travel in this region because this is the core area for Naxalites. Anywhere there may be bombs blast will be there, which I am traveling here. You can see here in my jeep. So at any time, any place the bomb may blast. That is the problem which I have faced here. As though I have travelled Andaman Islands, almost all the states in our country, but I never afraid to reach the tribal habitations. The first time in my life I faced the problem, and I am really scared to go into this region and also to walk into these passages which you are seeing here. There may be fish plates, any time it may be blasted. I wonder how I have made an attempt to go this region. With the help of tribal leaders and also the local people, I was given permission and I was safe in conducting my research and also documenting the film. Here is the principal who has helped me to have a discussion with the local people and provided me the help. With his help, I am going to the settlements of the Parhaiya tribe. See here, the narrow passages. I had to walk miles together to reach the settlements. The settlement is also not like any other settlements. There is no streets. It is the entire area. The houses are scattered. One house to another house. It may be half a kilometer or 1 kilometer also. Here the problem I have faced is mainly from the point of the Naxalites. Any time they may attack, they may kill me. I have only the confidence that the local people has given me the assurance and protection. And also I convinced the Naxalites that my visit here is not for complaining to anybody. It is a documenting of the film, that is forgotten cultures of the Parhaiya population, which may help for the helping of this population, which finally helps them for the upliftment of this tribe. Now I reached the settlement which you are observing here. This is the foothills where the Parhaiya tribe are inhabiting. And in this Latehar region, I am fortunate to have one of our senior colleague who has studied anthropology in Ranchi University, and now he is a principal in Latehar College. The college name is Gandhi College in Latehar, and the sir name is Professor Hari Prasad ji, who has accepted and came along with me in search of the Parhaiya tribe. He brought me here. You can see here in this middle of the jungle, he has brought me and introduced to the Parhaiya people. I am greatly thankful both the professors who are eminent anthropologists. Both of them are Makanja's PhD students. I am thankful to you, sir, for helping me in the project Man in Search of Man, which is I am going to dedicate to the nation for the upbringing of these primitive tribes in India. The first reference on Parhaiya tribe we can find from the works of Dalton in 1872 in his works on description of ethnology of Bengal. Dalton, in his ethnographic note about the Paharyias, he mentions that they are one of the numerous tribes, or perhaps it might be more correctly stated, one of the branches of the great tribe who with Turnanian features and may corresponding customs have adopted Hindi as a language to the obliteration of all their primitive forms of speech, and who thought affected Hindu customs retains practices that are in the eyes of Hindu impure and abhorrent. The Paharyias who dwell on the hills and plains of Palamu and Ranchi have been living on the hilltop in the midst of the deep forest since time immemorial. Their habitat, their means of livelihood, their thoughts and ideas have been shaped in the natural way. The environment has an invigorating influence on the Paharya life. The materialistic and way of life of the Paharyias very much reflects their life in the jungles and on the hills. The Paharyias who originally settled on the hills tops and in the jungle have recently came down the hills on the slopes of the hills bedecked with the forest and wild vegetation. They are forced to come down to the hills and settle at the foothills of the hill regions because of the forest policies and the declaring most of the forests as wildlife sanctuaries, and also the influence of the Naxalites in this region forced them to come down to the plain areas and settle at the established settlements by the government. The houses of the Paharyias are usually very small and tiny, constructed of thatched grass and bamboos. The houses are both square and rectangular in shape. A small outer courtyard is made of the twigs and branches of trees on which they spread the beams which give a green view. The houses are constructed in the midst of the jungle in close proximity to the spring or chuas, that is natural water spring. The material possession of the Paharyias are very few. A few earthen cooking utensils, wooden ladles, mats and wooden seats are the only possession they have. One has to creep into their huts and houses as their height ranges between 3 and 4 feet and the width between 1.5 and 2 feet, which you can observe here about the house type. Family. The smallest basic social unit is nuclear and patriarchal in nature. It is mostly a family of man, his wife and unmarried children, sometimes divorced or unmarried brothers and sisters, dependent old parents are included in the family. However, married sons leave their family of orientation to start their own family of procreation within a year of their marriage. Family members form a closest kin group to struggle against the physical environment and earn their livelihood. Women exercise a dominant influence over household affairs by virtue of their significant contribution for the very survival of the family. Children are born and brought up in a very congenial atmosphere. They grow up while helping their parents in all subsistence activities. Succession and inheritance of property is strictly patrilineal. The Parhaiya won't perform any ritual connected with the pregnancy, delivery, naming, ear boring and mundan ceremonies, but they will be performing the ceremonies for the first puberty and also the marriage rituals if it is arranged. Generally, the delivery takes place outside the main house or a hut specially constructed for the purposes.
They have the dye from the which community?
Lohra.
Lohra community. Lohra community.
Lohra na.
The lady
Lohra na.
Lohra community.
ओकरा
she will be
लोहरैन
conducting.
लोहरैन
बताओ कैसा डिलीवरी करवाता है वो? लोहरैन कम्युनिटी.
लोहड़ी माई के नहाना धोवाना है, बच्चा के नहाना धोवाना है ओकरे.
ओके. सो बच्चा थोड़ा इधर उधर हो जाने से कैसा करेगा वो?
सब वही करेगा.
सभी वही करेगा. हॉस्पिटल नहीं जाता है.
ओकरा वो थी काटा हो गया. कौन चीज से काटा है?
कौन सा दिन? 6वां दिन.
बांस के
नहीं सुन एक चीज
बांस
वेरी
के
इंपॉर्टेंट
फराठी से काट दे और का करे.
कौन वो जो बच्चा होता है वो जो
हाँ,
नेट
बांस के फट्टी से काट देता है.
बांस की फट्टी से
हाँ, बांस के
बांस
फट्टी से
में-
काट देते
बांस
हैं.
में बैम्बू
बैम्बू
के शार्प उससे कटिंग करता है नॉट यूजिंग
any other instrument. So with the bamboo they will be cutting the umbilical cord. उसमें क्या लगाता है उसको?
कुछ
का
लगा
लगाते हैं लागे आगे जोते उसका कोयला के कुछ के लगाई देते हैं उनका.
अच्छा. So this is the practice they will be doing.
लोहड़ी के आदि खिलौना है, हल्दी पिलाना है.
अच्छा.
एक बोतल दारू दे दे पी पी के रही.
दारू भी पिलाता है?
हाँ, दारू
किसको?
पिला देते हैं. पावे पावे
केकरा?
होते ना इतना
केकरा?
जो लड़कोरी होता है उसका
वो
पिला
जिसका
देते हैं.
जिसका बच्चा होता है
हाँ.
तो रोज दारू पिलाते
हाँ,
हैं
रोज थोड़ा थोड़ा देते हैं दवाई रूपे.
दवाई रूप में.
हाँ.
अच्छा तो
कि
कौन
ना-
चीज के दारू?
महुआ के दारू देते हैं.
महुआ का
हाँ.
liquor they will be giving to the
नशा
mother
वही-
like a
So,
medicine every day they will be giving.
नशा होने से दर्द कम हो.
हाँ.
निशा होने से दर्द कम.
दर्द कम
So because of the pain killing they will be giving the mahua liquor. That is the practice there.
Pollution is an important concept in this community which has a direct bearing on their day-to-day activities. When a girl attains puberty, she is considered polluted. She cannot stay inside the living hut. A separate hut constructed for the purpose serves as a pollution hut. The moment ladies came to know about the first menstruation, the girl is shifted to the hut specially constructed for the purpose.
Seclusion for about 15 days and she will not be allowed to enter into the house and for cooking also she will not be allowed. So 15 दिन में क्या करता है?
15 दिन में नहाएंगे धोवाएंगे तो आप घर में ढुकेंगे.
खाली लड़की को जिसको होता है
हाँ
उसी
हाँ
को
हाँ
ना.
जिसको नहीं नहाए.
15 दिन में
15 days they won't give bath. Or the 15th day what क्या क्या करता है उस दिन? 15 दिन लास्ट दिन में
लास्ट दिन में घर दुरा लिपी बाढ़ी कपड़ा लत्ता साफ करी तो आप कहीं घर में ढुकी खाना बनावे.
खाना बनाएगा.
हाँ.
कपड़ा
और सब लोगों को बुलाएगा गांव में?
ना ही अपने घरे करे.
अपने घर का.
अपने घर
Okay.
का.
They will be celebrating in the house itself. She will be given new clothes and given a bath and she will be taken inside the house.
The dead body is disposed on the same day or on the next day. The place where the dead body is disposed is called as Kera Jala. They give a ceremonial bath to the dead body and cover the dead body with a new cloth. They carry the dead body in a newly made bamboo stretcher to the burial ground. They cremate the dead body and they won't bury the dead. The dead body of the infants and the people who died with the smallpox and snake bite they will be burying. The pollution period is observed for a period of 15 days. On the 15th day, they perform a purificatory function which is called as Muva. On the Muva day, they cook a large quantity of rice and dal and offer to the dead person along with the chicken. The chicken is sacrificed to please the spirit of the dead person, and they give a vegetarian feast to all the relatives who attended the function.
Bangwar,
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 Bangwar मतलब
Maklab, Magbar,
बकफार
Pakfar,
और बहरवार
Bahirwar,
और मैनवार
Mainwar,
हाँ इतने
और
नहीं है
अच्छा पांच है
हाँ
पांच गोत्र.
The members of the same clan is considered as brothers and sisters. Marrying within the clan is strictly prohibited. One has to marry outside their clan. The clan is considered as an exogamous group. The institution of marriage is the most significant event in Parhaiya social life. Monogamy is the common practice, although very few cases of polygyny is available. Parhaiya prefer adult marriage. Girls are fit for marriage after attaining puberty. Boys marry within 16 to 24 years of age. Boys and girls are free to select their mate without least parental interference. Premarital and postmarital love and sexual intimacy is present and tolerated in the society. Therefore, most Parhaiya marriages are love marriages. Consent of the girl is badly essential in finalizing such affairs. The marriage season is between January and June. Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are considered most auspicious for the purpose. The different kinds of marriages exist among the Parhaiya are cross-cousin marriages, marriages by negotiation, marriage by elopement, marriage by capture, marriage by intrusion and marriage by service. These are the different kinds of marriage exist among the Parhaiya community. Cross-cousin form of marriage is the most ideal form of marriage among Parhaiya community. Marriage of a boy with his maternal uncle's daughter is most welcome. Marriage by negotiation is one of the important marriages, but nowadays it is rarely performed because it is very expensive, where they have to pay bride price and also the bridegroom has to meet the expenses of the marriage and a feast has to be given to all the relatives. So they try to avoid marriage by negotiations. Marriage by elopement is the common form of marriage which doesn't involve bride price and also there is no involvement of money in this type of marriages.
आप लोग कितना गांव है यहाँ?
मिठाई दवही झांपी दावरा
मैंने लड़के वाला देवा है
लड़के बोले लड़किया के लड़की का बाप माई के
ब्राइड प्राइस ओनली स्वीट्स एंड क्लॉथ्स नो पैसा से नहीं देवा नहीं
न
काइंड ऑफ गोट गोट बकरी भी देवा है
नहीं होने से दे लड़की बोली दे लड़कवा के बकरी दे गाय
मैंने तो है जैसे जे हथ खिया हो है ना
मैंने कोई तरह से मैंने
लड़का लड़किया ये से घरी देवहिया
शादी विवाह हो जाने के बाद लास्ट
शादी हो गया
सर
लड़का
अपने जगह नहीं रहेगा तो जबरदस्ती
गरीब रह गया
ओकरा भी देवेला
गरीब रह गया तो बात
जे गाछे लबा से गछबै
या बकरी छकरी दे दो हर बैल ना खाए तो ये एक हर बैलो दे देबै एक धुर बैलो दे देबै गाय ना खाए तो एगो गायो दे देबै उहे मने लड़का के
मैंने लड़का लड़कियों के शादी में बोले जाए कि लड़कों
शादी कौन करता है?
मंडप में
अपने अपने घर में करता
नहीं
है
कोई पूजा के करावे हो
पूजा करियो ठाकुर करियो कौन करी
ठाकुर
हाँ
ठाकुर अपना जाति का है ठाकुर
ठाकुर नहीं नौवा ठाकुर
नौवा ठाकुर पुजारी
अनेक भाग करियो है सब
हाँ। उसको क्या क्या करेगा वो उस दिन?
हर कुछ करी जितना रविन्य करो उतना नेक भाग सब
विधि विधान जितना नेक है सब सारे कुछ करते हैं। तो कितना दिन चलौला?
कितना दिन चली रात भर चली बिहान
थोड़ा
Parhaiya practices marriage by capture. In this case, the boy kidnaps the girl of his choice from the marketplace or water fetching place or from the forest with the help of his friends when he fails to marry her otherwise. The girl is kept in the friend's house and given the best food and treatment in order to get her consent of marriage. After a week, her parents and relations come to the boy to claim bride price and finalize the marriage, which is always subject to the willingness of the girl. Marriage by intrusion is also observed among the Paharyiya community. In this case, the girl enters forcibly into the family of the beloved and stays there. In this case, the boy need not pay the bride price. Marriage by service is also one of the important forms of marriage among the Paharyiya. A poor boy who is unable to pay the bride price for his desired girl may in lieu of that serve her parents for a stipulated period of timely, usually for 2 to 3 years. Then he is allowed to marry the girl and move to his new home with her. Divorce is freely allowed in this society. Both male and female can divorce. Anyone can initiate the divorce, and divorce is allowed with the approval of the Kula Panchayat. Parhaiya follows both levirate and surrogate marriages. Widow and widower remarriage is freely allowed. There is no restrictions. The traditional substance of economy for Paharyiya is food gathering, hunting is the main substance of economy, and they are also now shifted to agricultural labor and also different kind of occupations.
They are mostly depending on for their livelihood on basket making, different kind of bamboo baskets and different type of containers they will be preparing with the bamboos. That is the main occupation for them. जंगल से क्या क्या लेके आता है आप लोग? जंगल को
वो है कंदमूल।
वो क्या क्या नाम बताओ?
बताओ, लिख लो।
बताओ, यही बताओ, इसमें लिखा गया है।
माने एक तो गेठी का हुआ है सर।
अच्छा,
गेठी,
एगो कबार,
एगो कबार,
हाँ,
एगो टेवना, एगो बेरैनी, और एगो जेलंगी, एगो चंबुआ, और एगो अथी बस उतने।
जंगल में कुछ मांस का कुछ मिल जाता है आपको लेने के लिए?
कौन सी?
का मांस मिलेगा सर?
मांस हंटिंग?
हाँ, खरगोश तुरगोश है,
वो कभी जब
मिलता है।
बन मुर्गी वो है पानी में।
और क्या क्या मिलता है आप लोगों को बताओ?
खाली मुर्गी है,
मुर्गी
जंगल में खड़ा है,
कड़ाई,
और लेगुनाई सो जंत बंगल में।
अच्छा,
सुअर जंगल में है।
सुअर,
जाओ यहाँ, जाओ।
अच्छा. So they will be getting a lot of food from the jungle, not only the roots and tubers and other things, but also the jungle fowl, goat, and different kind of animals and wild boar. There are the things which they will be getting in from the jungle for their food. और
फल है, कुछ दिन में है ये जामुन है।
जामुन?
हाँ, वो पेड़ के जामुन भी खाते हैं।
अच्छा, सीताफल
और इमली तिमली है। इमली, हाँ, चटनी उटनी बनाते हैं।
हाँ, आम तो है,
आम भी है,
और क्या क्या मिलता है?
पियार है,
तो सब वो है, फल फूल है,
सब तो है, नाम तो बता दो।
पियार है, डठुआ है।
सब्जी बनाएंगे, क्या नाम है इसका?
कटेल।
It's called katel sago. These leaves they will preserve it, dry it and keep it, and during the summer season they will make curry with these leaves. Katel leaves, it's called as katel leaves. This is one of the root which is available from the jungle. It is called as geti khanda. ये इसको कैसा कैसा बनाता है?
इसका भाप देते हैं, इसका सब फेल के बीज देते हैं, इसे फिर कर देते हैं, नदी में रात में रहेगी।
The skin will be removed and they will cut into different small pieces. Then नदी में
बोच देते हैं। अच्छा, और बिहान सब लाए पानी में डाल देते हैं।
पानी में डालकर
बिहान लाए के फिर खाए जाएंगे।
So they will wash it in the water, river water. Then they will bring it and they will उसको उबाल कर खाता है, ऐसा ही खाता है?
उबाल कर खाते हैं।
Then they will boil it and then they will eat it. This is one of the staple food for them, apart from maize and rice which they are getting from public distribution system. 25 kgs of rice they will be getting. To substitute, they are eating this type of food which are available from the jungle. और जंगल में और क्या क्या मिलता है?
कंदा मिलता है, धूरा कंदा बोलते हैं, और बोदलर बोलते हैं, सियो कंदा बोलते हैं, बेरोनी बोलते हैं, जेवना कोई बोलते हैं उसका।
So different type of roots and tubers.
लंबा लंबा निकलता है।
लंबा लंबा।
हाँ, लंबा लंबा निकलता है। इतना को मोटा निकले।
नाम क्या है?
इसका नाम है ढोराकंदा।
डोराखंदा।
हाँ।
तो क्या करता है आप लोग?
भाप पे खाते हैं।
उबाल कर खाता है?
हाँ, भाफल है।
हाँ?
भाफल है।
हाँ।
अभी को खाने बोकरा छिल के खाएगा इससे काट के।
अच्छा, खाता है ऐसा?
हाँ, ये खराबी तो नहीं करेगा। असली माल है ये।
अच्छा।
हाँ। इकर में कौन लगा कुछ नहीं, इसको तरकारियों बना खाएगा कुछ।
You can see plenty of them are available. There is very tasty, which I am tasting also here. This is very good.
The Parhaiya are also domesticating the pigs, goats, chicken. Very few of them are having cows. Very rarely they are going for horticulture and agriculture, as though they have the lands, but they are not able to do the agriculture because of the poverty. Even today they are using the digging stick, which you can see here. This is the digging stick for collection of the roots and tubers from the forest. Since indigenous methods they are adopting. Now, for many of the Paharyias, the substance of economy is basket making and different kind of bamboo baskets they are making and selling in the market, which you can observe here. Men will go and collect the bamboos from the forest. The women and the older people, they used to clean the bamboos and they will make into the splits for making the containers. So this is one of the occupation for them. With this, many of the Parhaiya people now surviving. It is very difficult for them for living. Many of them are dying with starvation. Still, we are using the bow and arrows for our hunting. That is a small game. We are not allowed to go for the big game. Only rabbits, birds, and wild fowl we are hunting for our substance of economy. This is the one of the trap where you can able to catch the rabbits. Many of our women and men are going for making the bricks in the industry, brick industry, which you can observe here. We are making the bricks in the factory, which you can able to observe here, and daily wage laborers working, and we are getting 100 rupees daily.
कोने के नरसगढ़ के गोहेल इसको मानते हैं। उसके बाद में रानी माई खुराचंडी होती है।
खुराचंडी?
जी सर।
अच्छा।
उसको मानते हैं। फिर टोला में होती है जैसे हरगड़ा, का खूटा काट के जो बसा है उसको मानते हैं।
अच्छा।
फिर धरती को मानते हैं। धरती इसी में आता है, इसी में ये अलग आती है। धरती इसी को मानते हैं। फिर इधर आता है, फिर जो होता है अलग अलग उसको मानते हैं। हम तो इतना बैठते नहीं है, मेरा पिताजी रहते हैं।
अच्छा, ठीक है। वो क्या हाथी के कुछ रखा है, इसको ले लो।
जी सर। घोड़ा
दिखाओ। इसका नाम क्या है?
घोड़ा जो गसता है तो वो चढ़ा देता है।
ये offering.
अच्छा।
This is a मन्नत।
मन्नत किसके लिए ऑफर करता है? क्या क्या करने के लिए?
अपना गांव, अपना टोला में जो भी हमारा ठीक रोजी रोटी रहे, अच्छा बहुत रहे।
अच्छा।
कि हम अपना शरीर
prosperity
of the village and the people,
village and family and self.
They will offer to this. Is like a sacrificing a horse.
Yeah. Not sacrificing, just
symbolic way of offering the
offering.
Acha.
So this is the
Gods which you are observing here in the form of stones, plants, and images represents the nature, that is snakes, tiger, and different type of gods worshipped by themselves. So each stone represents here one god. Being the dwellers of the forest, the Paharyias have to save themselves from the influence of malevolent spirits which abound their country. Their principal god is Dharti, that is Mother Earth. Ancestors play an important role in shaping the worships and rituals of the Paharyias. They fear their ancestors, and to appease them they offer worship and sacrifice on all important occasions of their life. Paharya have their own priest. He is called as Oja, who performs all the sacrifices and other rites and rituals. For his services, he is paid the remuneration for each household. He gets a share in the sacrificial animal and fowls. Some of times, the Paharyias living with other communities have to depend on the Oja of other communities for their worship and sacrifice.
He is the medicine man for this tribal population. His name is called as Buji.
नहीं ओझाई
He's called as Ojai.
ओझाई तो ओझाई में तो इन कौन कौन बीमारी के इलाज करेगी?
सब जितना गर्मी सर्दी के इलाज यही करना है कि जैसे कि माने बच्चा लोग को अगर सियान लोग को माने पड़ गलक, जैसे कि गर्मी पड़ गलो तो गर्मी माने हो गल से चलते बुखार पकड़ ले।
हाँ तो तुम क्या करें? झाड़ फूक करें?
कड़ू तेल लेके झाड़ते हैं।
झाड़ते हैं।
हाथ से
झाड़े में का बोले? झाड़े का
झाड़े के बाद
मंत्र का बोले? मंत्र बोल बताए एक रिकॉर्ड करो तो
पहर लागे कवाही डोरे जन्म तोहारे, कवाही डोरे जन्म तोहारे, कवाही डोरे ले लायुपरे, कवाही डोरे ले लायुपरे, चिया के बुदा तार जन्म तोहारे, खिलवा फूलाय, खिलवा फूलाय। ये दूधी जा रहा है,
ये दूधी के
दूधी गोड़ारे झेल।
This is for fever.
दूधी बने की
माने बच्चा के अगर
गर्मी हो जाता है उसका दूधी बोलते हैं।
बुखार टाइप।
This mantra is for when man gets
माने सियान के भी गर्मी हो गई, बच्चा के हो गई,
he will be singing this
अच्छा दूसरा कोई मंत्र हो
और दूसरा क्या है?
एगो बताओ।
एगो दोसर बिच्छी के जो बिच्छी काट,
अच्छा बिच्छी जो काट लेता, डंक जो मारता है,
snake.
नहीं नॉट ए स्नेक, that is called bichi. In local language
Scorpion bite is called as bichi. Now he is going to take away that poison and he will do mantra.
जातिक नागे इन जातिक डोमेन पे कैसा पड़े लम है बिछी, जातिक नागे इन जातिक डोमेन, जातिक में कपड़ा पड़े लम है बिछी, जातिक नागे इन जातिक डोमेन, जातिक कैसा आँखी पड़े लम है बिछी, जातिक नागे इन जातिक डोमेन, जात पर में उठा पड़े लम है बिछी, जातिक नागे इन जातिक डोमेन, जात पर में छाती पड़े एक लाम भाई बिछी, जातिक नागे इन जातिक डोमेन, जातिक पर ये बिछी के जड़ में
बिच्छी के। अच्छा एक चीज हो,
हेलो
जड़ी में एगो मलारी बुखार के रूप फरता है।
The Parhaiya still follow their own indigenous ethnomedicine and also superstitious beliefs in treating the infections and diseases. Minimum healthcare services are not available for the Parhaiya. The Parhaiya people suffer from a host of chronic diseases such as malaria, TB, skin infections, stomach ailments, etc. for their unclean and hygienic habits and for the unhealthy climate of their habitat. Most of the Parhaiya people are anemic, which you can observe here. Both husband and wife has to work hard to get a one meal a day. The children are breastfed up to 2 to 3 years or the next pregnancy period. So it is hard for them for their livelihood. Every day they have to work hard or otherwise they will be starving. Most of the children are not going for the school. As though school is there, it is not functioning, and we can see the nutritional status and the conditions of living of the Parhaiya people. Here we can see due to the lack of fresh water, They are not even giving bath at least once in a week. They clean the body of the child with the water, the kind of cleaning you can observe here. This is the what she kind of bathing she has given. It is really a terrific life they are living in this region. Most of the children are dying by starvation. There is no health care. There is no question of nutritional food. There is no Anganwadi workers. Nothing is available in this region. They are forgotten children of India. Nobody cares. Nobody bothers about these people. This is the way of life the Paharya, who are the aboriginal population, who are the original inhabitants of India, are facing today. See the food conditions, see the child, what kind of food he is eating. Only the boiled rice he is taking. Let us hear what the elderly lady says about their conditions of living. Once we were living happily in the forest. We were thrown out of the forest and we are not able to get the balanced food. Now we are suffering. The roots, tubers, the fruits and the flesh of the different kind of animals we are not getting. So we are becoming anemic and we are solely dependent on the food, rice, other things which are given by the government. This is one of the major problem which we are facing. I think we need the help from the government for our survival. Otherwise, we may extinct from the planet very soon. The village is a political unit. All the heads of the family members or the members of this council, the senior or the elderly men of the tribe sit in judgment over the cases of adultery, remarriage, divorce, theft and other crimes, and the decisions are binding upon the tribe. They impose fines. The collected fines will be used for
उसका वही पैसा के जितना जुटल रहेगा उन्हें वो सब झूम के माने लान के खा पी जाएगा।
वो मने आपस में जो बैठते हैं
हाँ।
जितना बैठल रहे उतना सब खाए पी।
उसका पंचायत में है ना
मदन पर रह जा
नहीं मदन पढ़ैया कुछ बोला ही हेड के जैसे
महातो
महातो
they will be having crying songs. That is what she is feeling shy. I think she is
पोच पोच के रो
रो कैसा करता है करो ना
लड़की विदा करती है उन्हें
मर गए बाद में रोना
ऐसे करब
song which is sung at the time of marriage, which is called as डमका।
हाँ डमकच होता है।
डमकच होता है। आप से देखो इधर
सरसों फूला भावरा गुंजा मारा बारी ने सरसों फूला भावरा गुंजा कराए बाबा के याद नारे कुटुमा गुंजा मार बाबा के याद नारे कुटुमा गुंजा मार रे कुटुमा गुंजा मार
जो नागन
बस
ई बाबा के अंगना रे कुटुम गुंजा रे कुटुम गुंजा मार ई बाबा के अंगना रे कुटुम गुंजा मार रे कुटुम गुंजा मार
बस वही गीत है।
हाँ ई आए बाबा जी आत बेरी सब केरा साथी यो बाबा जी आत बेरी सब केला साथी दे जुड़ाल नी तो कनिया कुमार मी कथे में पार दे लेगी ई रोद जुड़ावाल नी तो कनिया को न तो कनिया कुमार
खाए की खेले जाए ए जादूरा के दिन ये लो मायागे खाइबे की खेले जाइबे
नाजो नागिन
दांग दांग दांग
जादूरा के दिन ये लो मायागे खाइबे की खेले जाएगी.
The time of the function which they will be celebrating for mangoes and other things which are collection of from the forest, they will be singing in the songs which will call as Jangna. Jagna.
जदुरा
Jadura.
अच्छा जदुरा कब गावा ही
बैसाख में गाए.
बैसाख में काहे गावा ही
सरहुल पर्व करते हैं.
सरहुल पर्व के लिए जे नया नया चीज जे बना हो आवा हो जंगल से
थारी में थारी होगा टीना होगा उसको बजा के बजा को जदरा बोलते हैं उसका.
जदरा का गाना सुनाओ.
ए पारा सा फूल लाय बना लाल वे सराय फूल बना बियारी ए पारा सा फूल लाय बना लाल वे सराय फूल बना बिहारी बालर राधे हाय रे ए काल से तो नाय पति आइले जाबे माया देख आइबे ए पारा सा फूल लाय बना लाल वे सराय फूल बना बिहारी.
Saral and Karma dances and songs are the famous for the Parhaiya. Now slowly they have forgotten because of the poverty and rehabilitation in different places. It is one of the forgotten culture of the Parhaiya population. No more we can see the songs and dances of the Parhaiya in future. While discussing the kind of relationship with the forest they are having, the head of the Parhaiya community mentions that our relation with the forest is like having a kin relationship. The forest is like our brother and sister. We are born together. From generations we are living together like one family members. The separation or removing us from the forest gives us pain. From generations we have protected the forest, plants, animals and birds. It is evident from ages we have cordial relations with the forest. We lived happily without doing any harm to the forest. Our subsistence of living is purely based on forest and forest produce even today. Parhaiya have always been a part of the ecosystem of the forest. They should not be seen as intruders into the forest. If the lifestyle of the Parhaiya is carefully studied, it reveals that these tribals believe in coexisting with all other inhabitants of the forests. Contrary to the popularly held belief, the tribals do not want to destroy the jungles. There is now an increasing realization that it is the commercialization of the forest product that is resulting in a large-scale destruction of the forests. The forest policies brought tremendous changes among the living conditions of the Parhaiya population. Here we can observe that they have been removed from the forest and they have been rehabilitated in the peripheries of the foothills. Now they are solely depending on their subsistence on basket making and bamboo splitting and selling the bamboo. Day to day their life is becoming very difficult. Many of the starvation deaths also we can observe in this region. The struggle for existence is started not only for the wildlife in the forest but also for these tribes. Due to the restrictions of the forest officials entering into the forest for food gathering and hunting, they are lost their balanced way of nutritional food from the forest. Now they are going for the wood cutting, which you can see here. The school girl which she has dropped out from the school and going for bamboo cutting for her survival and also to feed the entire family. This is the strategy. Traditionally, they used to live near to the springs, streams, or to the rivers where they are getting fresh water. Now they have lost their resources because of their rehabilitation.
Many of our suffers during summer the problem of water scarcity. Sometimes they take this water, they will get diarrhea. 3 years back, more than 25 people died with the diarrhea in this region, Parhaiya people. That is what he is telling.
During summer season, it is very difficult for us to get the fresh water for drinking. Minimum 4 kilometers we had to go to get the water. Here we can observe the water she has got from the river. After walking 4 kilometers, they are getting the water. This is one of the major problem the Paharya people are facing. We have lost our forest. We have lost everything, and we are brought here and rehabilitated here. We have not given proper rehabilitation. The houses they have constructed which is not suitable for us, and none of them are occupied these houses which has been provided by the government, and our way of life is different, and the houses they have provided is in different way. Now we are facing hard for our livelihood, and we are struggling every day for our survival. The forest officials and the exploitation by the middlemen in purchasing of our minor forest produce and also the baskets. It is very difficult. The Naxalites is one of the biggest problem for us, and also the land mining which is going on here. It is terrifies us, and we cannot survive present day conditions. The exploitation which you can see here by extracting the iron ore in this region is a big problem for us. We can see here miles together they have extracted the iron ore. The lands which have been given us by the government are also taken away by the multinational companies and extracting the iron ore in our lands. Nobody is there to take care of us. Trucks of loads of ore is going every day from our place. I don't think we have mud below of us, or we are now living on the empty shell. You can see here the trucks of how they are carrying away the ore from our place which is belong to us. We have been rehabilitated 12 years back. Till to date, no repairs was done for the houses. Family size increased, grown-up children got married, and there is no place for living for the children. The house is not sufficient for our living. We request the government to provide more houses and do the repairs for the houses. Please come and see the conditions of the houses. These are some of the houses constructed by the Tribal Welfare Department and the foothills to rehabilitate us. You can see none of the house was occupied by the Paharya tribe. All houses are empty and they are at the destruction. And nobody likes to stay in those houses because there is no facilities in those houses. Some of the houses which you have occupied, we have made the alterations and we are living here. You can see these houses, and it is really a pathetic conditions we are living presently in this region. Malnutrition is quite common. Maternal mortality and infant mortality rate is also very high. This is mainly due to the neglect of healthcare practices. Most of them are anemic. From the inception of pregnancy to its termination, no specific nutritional diet was consumed by women. The consumption of iron, calcium and vitamins during pregnancy is very poor. The habit of consuming liquor during pregnancy is found to be common among the women. Due to the restrictions by the forest people in food gathering, hunting and collection of the minor forest produce, they are forced to change their food habit to eat the rice instead of the roots, tubers and fruits and the flesh of the animals. They are now adapted to eat rice, jowar and ragi, which are available from the private shops and also provided by the government through public distribution system shops. The rice which is provided by the government is not sufficient for their consumption. So the children are very weak and anemic. The children also quite often go to the forest in collection of the fruits and roots and nuts from the jungle. Majority of the children are not going for the schools because the schools are far away place, and also the children has to support their parents for their economic subsistence. Those who are going also drop out from the school after 3rd standard or 5th standard because the high schools are too far away from their place of living. In many places, the school exists only for namesake, but it is not functioning. Even though the school building is available, there is no school teachers and the students are coming and going. The school is not functioning. We can observe here the school, the way it is functioning, and no teachers and no students. This is the conditions of school education in Parhaiya region. The new rules imposed by the Government of India, the state government, and the interference of outside, non-tribal and forest problems and programs have been exploited and alienated us, and we are losing control our environment, and thereby we are struggling to survive. The loss of forest is posing a great problem for us, especially for women who take the responsibility to feed themselves and their families. We are struggling for our survival. Several of us lost our lands and houses. This is the Tolagadi village. Here we have 5 villages. There is no school nearby, and we are facing the problem of drinking water. Water is one of the major problem. During summer season, we had to go for miles together to fetch the water, and also there is no health center to give or to get the medical treatment. That is the major problem which we are facing in this region. You have seen the pressure on us is increasing to vacate this land. We are inhabiting from generations, forefathers and grandfathers. Now they are asking us to vacate from this place, and the forest people are not allowing to construct the new houses also, and there is a pressure on us every day not to go for the forest to collect the minor forest produce and also collection of the honey. We are struggling very hard for our survival, not only for the food for us, but also for drinking water, shelter, and everything. Day to day we are struggling. We request at least the people who are inhabiting interior jungle should be protected and they should be conserved. Otherwise, the traditional culture of Parhaiya people is going to extinct from the planet. So we request the Government of India and the people of India that to come and see us and save us before we extinct from the planet. The need of the hour is to provide the Parhaiya a permanent shelters, regular distribution of provisions through PDS system, educational facilities by way of providing them more tribal residential schools, health facilities is very important for them. They should be provided nutritional food through ICDS to the infants, children and pregnant and lactating mothers. They should be provided regular employment through NRGS scheme is very important for them to alleviate the poverty line, and there is a need to provide them the livestock like goats, sheep and pigs for the domestication so that they can able to sustain their livelihood, and also facilities should be provided to sell their bamboo products which they are making.
Makers should study at its depth regarding the socio-economic problems of these tribes.
Yes.
Unless you study these tribes in depth, you cannot do anything for them. Because you will have to know about their social situations, their problems, and then only you can find a way how to solve these problems,
develop these
and how
populations.
they can be developed. because especially in Jharkhand, these people are residing very interiorly. Especially now here you have come here and you are seeing these Parahiyas, how they are located, at which place they are located. They cannot go to town for their
yes.
treatment.
Yes.
And government officers are not quite aware to see them for their development.
That is why we are taking this document to the policymakers to show them where they are inhabiting inaccessible areas. These aborigines, especially the primitive tribes, requires a action plan for each tribe independently. An anthropologist should be appointed for each tribe independent to study and to make an action plan for the development. It is not only the mere pumping of the money doesn't help. It is requires an independent project should be developed for all the 75 tribal people in India, 75 projects. There should be a separate cell from the central and also state government for this bringing of these tribals, especially the vulnerable population who are going to extinct from the planet very soon. I think I am very thankful to you, sir, for this help and also helping me for coming all the way from my busy schedule, coming here with me for the location of this Parhaiya tribe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
An Aboriginal population who are living in India are biologically, genetically, culturally a distinct population living on the earth. It is the duty of all of us to save the Aboriginal population before they extinct from the planet.
Jatik nagin, jatik domin, jatik emme kapra pare lambai bichi, jatik nagin, jatik domin, jatik kesap ay aki pare, chiya ke budatar janma to are, khilwa pula.
Thank you very much for viewing this channel. Please subscribe, forward it to your friends to understand the living cultures of Indian people and their way of life. Thank you very much. Thank you. Subscribe this channel to know more about ethnic cultures of India. Namaste. Thank you very much.